Are the clicks real or native? Let's talk today about bot traffic, especially on native platforms like Taboola and Outbrain, Yahoo Gemini, and many more. Because a very common myth from the past is that there is a lot of bot traffic outside there and you will pay for those bot traffics. But let's talk about it today. Hi everyone, my name is Marcel Sattler, I'm the founder of Purple Black and we are a native advertising only agency. So what we do, we just run native ads profitably and scale them up for our clients. But let's not talk about us today, let's talk about bot traffic. And bot traffic, to be honest, is a very big myth on native advertising, especially for people who read some older forums, or saw some older YouTube videos. Because of course, bot traffic was a very big issue in the past for native advertising traffic sources, and for some of them, it still is a very big issue. But let's talk about the bot and what they're doing. So normally you have your ad, and normally the ad is clicked by regular people who are interested in the topic. But that was not always the case, or is not always the case, to be honest, because sometimes there are bots who are just clicking automatically on your ad without any interest. So that's not a real human there. And that's an issue because you pay at the end of the day for the CPM on native, but also for the CPC, so for the click. Therefore, it might take a look that you pay for a click which is not a real human. And yeah, that's fraud at the end of the day. That's the first part. And the second part is that's a very big issue because your funnel didn't convert, your ads didn't converting, and therefore you have completely wrong numbers to take decisions. And that's especially a big issue when you start a campaign, when you test a new campaign, because you get the wrong data back. As I mentioned before, bot traffic is not a really big issue anymore for the big major platforms like Taboola and Outbrain, because in the last couple of years they already find some good ways to fix the bot traffic by their own. So they built in bot detection, which is working pretty well. You just sometimes still see, for example, on live dashboards, that there are a little bit more clicks than usual. But on the next day you see that they will reduce it automatically down. A funny side fact here is that we're, by the way, come in contact with bot traffic is when you take a screenshot from your live dashboard from, for example, Outbrain now, today of your campaign, it might be a different, higher number of clicks than tomorrow because they will reduce it automatically in the night and they will delete the bot traffic. So normally they're just taking care that the bot traffic never will appear there, but sometimes some bots are very smart, so they get through and they get a click, but you will never see it, or it will be never charged. You see just the next day, there are a few less clicks than yesterday evening. But as mentioned before, the big major platforms, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, they fixed the bot traffic issue very well. And maybe you're common with those myths out there about bot traffic and native. And they are not wrong, to be honest, because they was true in the past and they're still true for some smaller platforms out there. But for the big major platforms, they aren't true anymore. And for example, we in our agency was also facing or have also some issues with bot traffic. There was some smaller platforms. We never ever had the big issue on Taboola and Outbrain. We have some smaller issues with bot traffic, but no major issues. But we have some big issues with bot traffic with other platforms, with smaller local platforms, because we're also working with smaller networks and they don't have a major bot control. So they just send you every traffic and you have to care about yourself, about bot traffic. And that could be an issue, especially when you're a beginner or when you're not as fit as, for example, we are. We have our own dev team for that. But if you're not as fit as we are, you might be a problem because you pay too much for your campaign when it's not necessary. So let me explain how it works or what the issue was in the past for us with bots. So the main issue was that you got traffic which just click on your ads. Therefore, it might be the case that the CTR went up. And for example, platforms like Taboola and Outbrain take the CTR or the VCTR as in quality or as one of many quality indicators, of course, but that's the first quality indicator they get. How often will your ad be clicked? and if they see your ad will be clicked very often, you get a lot of placements out there. But unfortunately, it destroys your test campaign because you get clicked by a bot and you don't want to get clicked because you see there are just clicks but no conversions. But Taboola think and Outbrain think, hey, that's a very, very good campaign. We have to spend out the money everywhere on every placement. We have to keep out the budget very, very fast and so on. So your budget will extremely fast blow away, but there will be no conversions. It's a negative cycle which begins with the bot traffic. Of course, as the bot traffic, you pay a little bit more for the clicks because bot traffic clicks are not valuable. But the real bigger issue is that those campaigns are starting the negative cycle regarding to the CPM, and therefore those platforms are thinking that your ad is super relevant for everybody out there, and they will show your ad everywhere, and normally you can't rescue this campaign anymore. And of course, the other issue is that you pay a little bit more, but the good news here is that when you can show those platforms, hey, there was bot traffic, you get the money back or you don't have to pay it if it's not already charged. The good news is normally you can detect those bots with third-party tools. There are own tools for just bot detection, but there are also built-in tools into trackers. For example, Volume has a very good, legit bot detection inside the tracker. By the way, we are using it also in our agency, so I can assume that it works very good for our maintenance there. So yeah, it's still working. We see sometimes some bot traffic, and when we see it, we can start the anti-fraud detection, and we can call the traffic source and ask for a refund. But keep attention when you start with smaller platforms, with local traffic platforms, because those platforms normally didn't have any bot detection. So you have to care about yourself to the bot detection, and you need normally a little bit of a technical background knowledge that you understand how data centers are working, how bots are working, what's the goal, and so on. So that's a very important point. Therefore, especially when you're a beginner, or by the way, I didn't recommend you native ads when you're a beginner, but also when you already run a few $1,000 through native advertising, please never start with a small local native network, but start with a big major platform like Taboola or Outbrain, because you have to care much less about bot traffic and many, many other technical things. I hope you liked that video. If so, I would be extremely appreciated if you give me a thumbs up, and of course when you subscribe my channel and activate the bell to get notified when I upload a new video about native advertising. Have a good one. See you next time.